Dirty and dangerous, but alive and wonderful. The changes came slowly at first. Most didn't realize, or didn't care, and accepted them. They chose a comfortable life. Some didn't. And those who refused to conform were pushed to the sidelines. They became our clients. We call ourselves runners. We exist on the edge, between the gloss and the reality, the mirror's edge.
I can say one thing right up front about this game: the art design is incredible. It has a very unique, crisp, clean look that's not that common in games today. Let's talk about gameplay. It's about time somebody turned Run Lola Run into a video game.
Hey, drop the bag!
Why are you going crazy? Get out of there.
You have a constant adrenaline-fueled rush that people are chasing you with machine guns and there's helicopters flying overhead. The whole game feels a lot like Run Lola Run mixed with Aeon Flux, with a bit of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex and Bionic Commando thrown in for good measure.
Don't care how you do it, just do it.
Rather than going with this dark, dystopian, futuristic vision like you'd find in Blade Runner, the whole city looks like it's brand new. As you saw from the introduction, the game takes place in a city which is, in a sense, a dystopian, futuristic environment where Big Brother is watching every move and human freedom is squashed. And you are, of course, fighting against this. Your sister is a police officer, set up for a crime at the beginning of the game, and the plot unfolds from there. Although Mirror's Edge has a terrific first-person shooter style viewpoint, if you go into this game expecting a traditional first-person shooter, you will be very disappointed. If you like first-person shooters and go into this with an open mind to try something different, I think you'll find a wonderful game. Or at least something creative and unique worth experiencing. If Gears of War is like a loud, noisy college bar, Mirror's Edge would be a coffee shop.
Take anything you find to him.
I'm serious, Faith. Remember, they're not playing nice. Get out of there.
Now go!
This game isn't about shooting. It's about running and evading and jumping onto things and grabbing and swinging like Bionic Commando.
Squad cars moving in on you. You ain't got much time.
This is a really cool game. It's not perfect. I'd like to see a sequel because I think they could make it better. For the most part, the game is broken down into levels or missions. You have to get from point A to point B. There's always somebody chasing you or shooting at you. And what's the deal with the red? Well, let me explain. you have this thing called runner vision, and what they're really doing is helping out the first-time player. While you're running through things as fast as possible, it's easy to sometimes miss what you're supposed to be doing. So they highlight a pipe in red or a board in red, basically anything that your character can use to grab, swing, or jump off of. The whole game revolves around this thing like the flow, where you're supposed to pick up a lot of speed and just hit things one after the other and just make a great performance out of it. But when you play it for the first time, it feels a lot like you're stopping and starting, and that's my biggest complaint about the game, especially later in the game when there's people machine gunning you from every angle. For the most part, every time I got to a certain level, I'd end up having to stop and either look around or just figure it out. And that added a lot of stop and start to the game. I think that Mirror's Edge would actually be better the second time you play it. I love the style and the concept of the game, but the fighting system is definitely frustrating. The controls take a lot of getting used to. But once you do get used to them, it's pretty cool to be able to run along the side of walls and grab pipes and swing all over the place. And I'll show you some of the more cool technical stuff later in the game in Part 2, where the character tends to be scaling the inside of buildings quite a bit. I'm not sure if it'll appeal to everyone, but if you like what you see on screen, this game is definitely worth a look. See you in Part 2.